Because, hey, testing. The day they squirted the. Really, it's really funny if I can get through it, okay? Truth. The day. The day they squirted the dye into my colon and slid the probe up my ass and said, okay, Mr. Rima, you're going to feel some pressure here. And then they inflated the balloon in my butt. I realized that whenever a doctor tells you that you're going to feel some pressure here, what they actually mean is, this is really going to fucking hurt. And of course, it did. This one's kind of a Randy in a weird way. It's called Shit All Over Me. One Friday evening at Methodist, the tube leading from my colon to the drainage bag had a bad seal, and I got shit all over me. And my team that night was a couple of young and pretty nurses, maybe in their late 20s at best. And as they lifted me and pulled the dirty sheets, then stripped me naked and began to clean me, I started to cry, mortified. I'm so sorry. And as I wept and they wiped me down, they assured me with soft, consoling voices, Mr. Rima, it's okay. This is what we do. You don't have to apologize. And within 15 minutes, I lay there in a clean gown with clean sheets and a clean bed, high off morphine, and watching Guy Fieri shows, while two young and pretty nurses, maybe in their late 20s at best, were somewhere on the floor, doing 12 on and 12 off, mopping up somebody else's piss or vomit or blood, or sliding a glycerine suppository up someone's ass, or trying to restrain an old woman shrieking with dementia and yanking at her IV tubes. And since that day, I can honestly say that I have not complained about a fucking thing in my life, because you never ever know when the universe is going to shit all over you. And you will need a couple of angels to wipe your tears and restore you back to human. And this one, the feast day of St. Jude, for Syria and Syria. And her mom is Syria, so it's Syrian Syria. I was born premature on the feast of St. Jude, October 28th, 1967. And I almost didn't make it home from the hospital because my lungs were thin like the wings of a moth. And my mom always said that my head was no bigger than a tomato at birth. And though my three older brothers were bigger infants than me, Mom would say that I caused her more pain coming into the world than Roger, Kyle, and Timmy combined. Now they're all gone, including my mother. Mere echoes of voices and the flashes of memory haunting my head, as well as the question I was born with and suffer more today. Why am I still here? I've spent all these years from my very first breath giving nothing but pain and tears and heartache to the souls I loved the most. So why, sweet Jesus, did I survive? What has been the point of it? Where is the karmic justice of me? Don't know. But many nights, the asking of it was so loud and shrill and shrieking in the bones of my ears that I did what I could to tip the scales a bit against me and run the table for God by sucking down the bottles and the pills and the cigarettes and passing out with a short, slurred, simple prayer upon my wine-stained lips. Please, Lord, for all my sins, just let me go to sleep tonight and drift away into the deep end of the sea of me, where my feet no longer touch the bottom, and even God's only begotten cannot jog across the murky waters that catch me going down in the storm. But I just kept waking up. And for all my pious study, I didn't know much about old St. Jude until I stumbled into your world, my bride, at the age of 45. And your mom explained how Thaddeus Jude, martyred in Persia in the year 65, was the patron saint of hope in the face of impossible tasks and lost causes, like me. And it wasn't until then that I took my first breath and felt the sunlight on my face like a lifer paroled from a cage. For she went on to say that old St. Jude was also the patron saint of the Arriaga clan of San Antonio, Texas. And how both you and your brother were baptized at St. Jude's Catholic Church on South Augustine Avenue. And while I still have no earthly clue as to why I'm here, or why God kept waking me up and bringing me back to life like Frankenstein's monster, I think it has something to do with the heaven I see in your eyes, like glancing down into the glistening waters of a baptismal font and seeing a warm space free of tears and pain and heartache, where I'm not lost anymore, where I am home and blessed and newborn each and every day, even when you're giving me hell for taking the last cold Big Red from the fridge and not replacing it with one from the cans in the pantry, or maybe Syria, especially then. Followed my eyes out. All right, thank you. Thanks for coming out. Take a little break, and if you want to hang out, we're going to be here till 4. Just hanging out. Sitting alone across the crowded cafe of your brain, reading a book, and her first curious glance over the tops of her glasses at you is the idea for the poem. A thing you thought, a memory, or an observation. Then comes the title, her name, offered after she asks you for a sugar packet and says, "Hi, I'm title of the poem you want to write. May I join you for a bit?" And so she sits down, and the hours slip away, or at least it seems like hours, but really it's only a minute or two. The first few lines come slowly and awkwardly. The small talk of the poem, getting to know the poem, maybe a joke or two as she sizes you up and begins to trust you, and you begin to trust the poem, until you lose yourself in her truth, spoken quickly in fits and starts, unrolling into a fluid pulse, the beat of the poem finding the blood flow of her heart, the rhythm of the cosmos, upon which all life and beauty and creation dance, like a cumbia line shuffling past the door to the cheap motel room of God's vast eternity, then hanging a "Do Not Disturb" sign on the knob behind you as the stanzas drop to the blank page, like her clothing ripped away, the pounding in her chest getting faster and faster, your hand cramping in the mad scribbling of it, you letting the poem guide you into her, her moans, the words, metaphors, and lusty allegory rocking your brain, faster, 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 paper wrinkles and shreds in the force of your jabbing pen tips spinning faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until your mind clenches into a fist. The atom splits. A black hole swallows the planets and the moons and the stars with a sigh and then goes silent. as you lie there, breathing heavy in the crumpled, sweaty sheets of your mind, wondering what the hell just happened. As you scan the almost finished poem staring back at you from your Dollar Tree notebook, not quite sure what it means or even describes, until the last line finds you, written in lipstick on her pillow when you roll over to leave. Usually something snarky or dry or inverted or strange, such as, "Thanks for the sugar," or "That's why I love getting naked in the rain." And that's how I write a poem. The dirty little poem. It's like making love to a woman. The writing the poem is like making love to a woman.